Hey there everybody, welcome back to Daltodity. How you doing? I'm Dalton. Today, we are going to start the process of turning my home into Adventureland from Disneyland. Now anybody that knows me knows I am a huge Disney Parks fan. But sadly, all the parks are closed right now and we're all stuck at home depressed. So I thought it'd be really cool to transform my house in preparation for an amazing, epic Adventureland themed party once we are all allowed to socialize again. The first step to that is turning my living room into the Enchanted Tiki room, and today I'm going to show you how I made the singing totems. Let's do it. As always, I started with a bit of research. I knew I wanted to incorporate the singing totems in some way, but I also had to keep in mind that I had a $0 budget and had used extra materials I already had laying around, and that mostly consisted of pink XPS foam. I eventually stumbled upon this artwork here. It was simple and I knew it would translate well to the foam, so I brought this into Adobe Illustrator where I adjusted the size to fit the entertainment center where this thing will be going, and I just did a simple outline drawing on top of it to give myself a pattern that I could work off of. I was then able to print this pattern out full size across multiple pieces of paper and taped it all together like a big old puzzle. Now, to build the totems, I started with a full 4x8 foot sheet of 1/2 inch XPS foam. I cut out two 21 inch by 74 inch rectangles. Weird measurements, I know, but I wanted this thing to fit perfectly over the doors of the entertainment center. Then, with some scrap pieces of foam, I cut out a bunch of 3-inch strips. These I glued all around the sides, making sure that the printed side of the foam was facing inward, as this would be the back of the totems. The glue I'm using here is Loctite's Power Ground. It is my personal favorite for gluing XPS foam because it has instant adhesion, and when it is fully set up, it is extremely strong. With that, the basic shape was complete. Now on the front side, I add a little border using those same 3-inch strips, gluing it on with a bit more of that Loctite and some hot glue because I started to run out. Hot glue is almost never the best choice. However, these guys should be staying indoor for their entire life, so it should be completely fine. Now to add the faces. I first cut them out of the paper pattern. I pin that down onto the foam and trace it, then cut it out using a very sharp utility blade. Next, I just position and glue them down onto the face of the totem. For some of the more smaller curved pieces, I used my hot wire table to cut them out. This was far easier than trying to get into all those tiny little curved areas with a blade. Next, with the help of the big paper patterns, I draw all the details onto the faces using a Sharpie. Once drawn on, it was then time to carve them in. For this, I decided to use a wood burner with a blade attachment. I recommend first practicing your carving on some scrap pieces of foam, as this thing is very hot, it can be a little bit tricky to use, and if you're not careful, you could easily burn a hole straight through your work. And always, please, please, please make sure you are working in a well-ventilated area like I am in my garage, as well as wearing appropriate respiratory protection. These fumes are no joke, people. They can do some serious damage. Once I'm done carving all the details onto the face, I switch over to a soldering iron with a thicker bit to carve in some wood grain details like the ones at Disney, because, spoiler alert, they aren't real wood either. They're made of like fiberglass, but they got these really cool lines carved in them to make it look like it's wood. So we're gonna do the same thing. Now that all of the carving is done, it is time for paint. Now I wanted to begin by giving the whole thing a realistic wood look. To achieve this, I like to start with a base coat of a very pale yellow, the color of a raw piece of wood. Then, using a crusty chip brush with a bunch of bristles stuck together, I like to add in some darker and lighter base streaks all over. Once this dries, I apply a thin brown wash, which is essentially just brown acrylic paint, heavily diluted with some water. After that, the totem has a nice stained wood look. I then begin painting the faces the appropriate color and the borders white. Lastly, I apply one more brown, almost black wash to age them up and really bring out all of the wood grain details. Then the totems are complete. I am so happy with how they turned out. I hope you guys really enjoy them as well. Alright guys, now this was only the first step in transforming my house into Adventureland from Disneyland. Make sure to like and subscribe below if you want to continue along this journey with me. Next week, I'm going to show you guys how I made the Enchanted Tiki drummers from the Enchanted Tiki room. You guys stay safe, and I'll see y'all real soon.